Hi, my name is Mr. Brad Wilson. I'm the 7th grade social studies teacher on Team 2, and I want to welcome you back for a great 2011-2012 school year. And I also would like to help you get started using a great online resource that all of your teachers will be using this year called Blended Schools. This tutorial is designed to show you how to effectively navigate through my website, as well as to understand what my expectations are for your use of Blended Schools. While I do not believe that internet learning is in any way superior to learning in the classroom, I do view Blended Schools as being a tremendous resource to get caught up on work or to even look for some enrichment opportunities to enhance your education further. So please do take a few minutes to watch this video and get a full understanding as to what you can do and can use in Blended Schools. Okay, now let's start looking at how you can navigate through and use Blended Schools as a tool to improve your learning this year. When you enter Blended Schools, typically it's going to send you to one of two pages, either the welcome page that you're on right now, which is where this video will be once I'm done making the video, or it will send you actually into my units themselves, such as this one right here, Europe and America. At the beginning of the school year, you're not going to see very much in here because we won't have much that we've actually taught yet. Early on, we're just going to have this. This is an introduction. In this folder, you will find the things that I pass out on the first day and maybe some introduction questions. Beyond that, you'll see that I will stack new things in here, and they will stack on top of each other as we go. If I'm to turn my edit mode off so you can see what it'll look like, eventually we're going to have all of these different folders in there with all kinds of different lessons. Now let's go to 1A, Europe Leaving the Middle Ages. And just so that you understand, these won't be released until it comes up in class. I'm not going to have everything up here to look at right from the very beginning. The thing that is on top is going to be the most recent lesson that we've done. Every time that we do a lesson, I'm going to add a new one. So once we get to the very beginning and we're teaching about the fall of Rome, for instance, or feudalism, we'll say feudalism is the second lesson that we're going to do once we get done with our introductory type of lessons. Feudalism will be on the top. In order to see what we did in the feudalism lesson, you can click on this folder, and then you'll be able to see some things in here in particular. As of right now, I have our graphic organizer as well as a PowerPoint to look at. Now, while I do have the PowerPoint here on my web or on my Blended Schools site, it is not quite the same as being in class, obviously, because you're missing out on discussion and some of those other things. But what you can do is you can use this PowerPoint to go through and to see some of the, and you can see some of my silly animations that I add to my PowerPoints, but you can also see some of the key information, things that we talked about in class. So it can help to catch up some. Now, early on, I'm not going to have, or early on in last year, we were just testing out Blended Schools, so I didn't have quite as much in my folders as I do now. When we get into some later portions, like right here, in the second term, I started adding in review quizzes, which is another great tool that you can use through here. With a review quiz, what it basically is a mini assessment from the lesson that will allow me to see if you understood the lesson as well as you yourself. So for this particular quiz, it was on the Bill of Rights and Amendments 2 through 4. I'm just going to put in a couple random answers here just to show you what you will get in the end. Now this quiz is only 3 points. Some of them get up to 5. They're typically not very long. The goal of these is just to ask key questions to make sure you got the targets and the big ideas from the lesson. Once you submit this, it'll give you a score, and for right here I have to click on OK in the bottom right hand corner, and it tells me that I got a 0 out of 3. Now, what it is telling me right here, though, is that I was incorrect and then explaining to me what the answer really was and why the answer was. So you can get some good information by doing that. There are some other types of activities that we will do as well in this class. And if we go back one in the Bill of Rights folder, which is from the second term, I can show you here for Amendments 5 through 8. I also had other assignments that we used on here, such as one which was on a criminal story. And for this, you had to write up a story and explain how you were or were not granted the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th Amendments. This is something that will be done in a blog form. So we might use Blended Schools also to communicate with each other on here, which is another great thing. Something else that I'm looking into doing that I do not have on here yet is to create folders for enrichment opportunities so that we can connect some of these ideas from the past to the present. Those are not going to be daily things, but you will see those appearing on certain days throughout the year when we see a very good tie-in, and it might be related to a homework assignment as well. Blended Schools is a great tool for getting some review work, catching up when you're out of school, and also moving forward a little bit beyond what we typically had been doing that you really can use to make the most out of your education this year. So I strongly suggest that for you students, you really know how to use this, and for you parents, it's something great for you too, so that you can keep track of what's going on in general. Lastly, I want to point out one thing that is a minor issue with blended schools if you are a parent. When you're a student, you'll be able to access and see any of these things in here. So you'll be able to go into my Bill of Rights folder, and you'll be able to see that for Amendments 2 through 4, you have a review quiz. If you are a parent, there are certain tools that will be disabled to you unless you have your child's login information. If you don't have a login code, you still can access the notes as well as the PowerPoints, but you will not be able to access the review quizzes or blogs, journals, and discussion boards. So there are some limitations for a parent. However, parents, you still can use this. And as you probably saw to get here, it is linked through my webpage. So you don't need anything. You just need to click on the link and it will bring you here and let you to use this. I hope that you find this to be a good tool and that you make this a great year.